Welcome to The Other Discovery Show, the podcast that's not about podcast. It's about all the other things we discovered this week. I'm Josh.
I'm Kirk.
I'm Zach.
And I'm Daniel.
So, what do you guys think is an underrated article of clothing? I asked before about what you think is overrated, I'll give you an example because this is mine. I think that Crocs are underrated for what they are. I think that it became like, oh, Crocs are stupid looking, and they're not wrong. They're not wrong about that. It is stupid looking. You shouldn't wear it with your business casual outfit. You shouldn't wear it out at all. But Crocs are my favorite lawn work shoe in existence.
Before we go further, did you see that Keith put in our Facebook group that Crocs has come out with gloves?
I did see that, and I don't want any part of it.
No. They're made out of the same material that Crocs are made out of.
That seems like a weird thing to have gloves.
So my wife...
But they're fingerless.
What? So what are they for?
I don't know. I put on there, this is probably the most useless thing I've ever seen.
I didn't read the article.
And then Chris Green came on there and posted a list of like the most useless things that have ever been produced, and I'm like, I've been corrected.
So my
definitely useless.
My wife is in our Facebook group, and throughout the week she just throws out random tidbits about different things she discovers on Facebook. And come to find out, every time we do the podcast, all of the things are things that are in our Facebook group. She's like, the other day, she's like, I get all my news from your Facebook group now. So
You're welcome,
go join
guys.
the Facebook group.
You're welcome.
But yeah, here's why I like Crocs for doing work outside, because if they get dirty, you literally spray them with a water hose. They're clean again. I've had these Crocs. They have no traction at all on the bottom. It's like you're skating if it's wet outside. But other than that, it's perfect.
Sounds like a bonus.
Mine's also related to feet, but I would say socks, because socks keep your shoes nice and fresh.
Yeah.
From stinking like feet.
Yeah.
So
the few times that I've not worn socks, I've regretted it very much so.
Yeah, I mean, I have some shoes that they're like, oh, these are really good shoes without socks, and I wear them without socks, and I'm like, yeah, it feels fine. But then I'm like, now these shoes are garbage.
I have ruined my shoes.
You need like a interior padding.
You've made
that
foot
you can
gravy.
Wash.
I don't like foot gravy.
Sounds awful.
Underwear?
I don't think those are underrated.
I think people are pretty appreciative.
Okay.
Because it's also like an interior lining that you can wash.
Hats. I almost never don't wear a hat. I say that and I'm not wearing a hat right now, but I usually am always wearing a hat.
Why?
And I feel like it's part of who I am. I love my hat.
Oh, you're a hat
I work
guy.
outside, so a lot of times it's utilitarian for shading my eyes. But yeah, hats. That's mine. That's clothing, right?
Yeah.
Kind of an accessory, but
Yeah, that
still.
counts.
Hawaiian shirts.
Why?
I love Hawaiian shirts. Every time I wear them, I get compliments on them.
Guys,
They're perfect for Florida.
I wouldn't believe him, except for I've been around him and I've seen people complimenting on his
They
stupid
do.
shirts.
They really do.
They really do.
I would go so far as to say aggressive complimenting. Like, people like go out of their way and like walk across the room and be like, shirt's amazing. It's insane. Like, I don't even understand it, because usually they're tacky and over the top and people love them.
No, I wear Hawaiian shirts at work sometimes, and people come up to me and they're like, oh, nice shirt. I get the same thing. People always feel the need to comment on
I have to go
a
buy some
floral
Hawaiian
print
shirts.
shirt.
It's
Just for my own
interesting.
self-esteem.
I feel like for a long time that was kind of like a weird thing. You know, Hawaiian shirts were kind of like the
that was like the fat lazy guy thing. You know what I mean?
It's
like the person that's given up.
Going to a Jimmy Buffett concert, huh?
Yeah.
No, but
Yeah,
they're
That's
like,
it now too.
I went full circle on the Hawaiian shirts, because I was going to a Jimmy Buffett concert and looking like I've given up Hawaiian shirt guy. Now I'm getting compliments Hawaiian shirt guy, so I've been full circle.
All fashion
it's all about the
goes in
grooming of your
cycles.
beard.
That might be it.
Yeah, I guess it could be. It looks like you're actually trying.
If you got a
and wearing
neck beard and you
Hawaiian
got a Hawaiian shirt on, nobody's going to give you a compliment.
shirt. What about just a mustache?
Oh, yeah. You'll
Yeah,
definitely
you
get compliments.
Probably more compliments if you have just a mustache and a Hawaiian shirt.
What about a Wolverine, where that you shave the whole middle?
Same thing. Yep.
So it's just
If you're
the amount
trying.
of effort put in.
Yeah, if you're trying with your facial hair.
All right, I think we found the secret.
So earlier on this week, Universal teased some announcements that they were going to make later on in the week, and it was like you could kind of see something, and it's like, we've got an epic announcement for, I think it was on Thursday, for Thursday, and there was so much hype was built up in the theme park community and all this other stuff, and people were like, "Oh, is what are they gonna do? What are they gonna announce?" And so time rolled around, and they did their announcement. They had a big press conference, and apparently they're gonna open a new park in Orlando. It's gonna be 12 minutes away from all the other stuff, which is kind of weird, but it's not abnormal. I
They'll
mean,
put a shuttle
all
service
the
in.
Disney stuff not right next to each other.
Yeah.
They're, they have a bus system, like you just said. So I don't think that's really weird. But what was weird is they gave like zero details about the park. They're just like, we're gonna have another park, and we are naming it Universal's Epic Universe.
Sounds like a Marvel cash grab.
So I've started to hear some details trickle out. Have you heard about the Cornerstone area that they're going to have there?
No.
Super Mario World is going to be their
So I
Cornerstone.
Okay, I didn't know
area.
what you meant by Cornerstone. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. I heard because they've got one in Japan that they're making now. It's not open yet, but they've
Right.
been working on it in Japan, and of course, everyone here is really hyped about it and assuming that it's going to come to the States eventually, and everyone's assuming that it's going to be there, but I don't think that's been confirmed yet. But there is supposedly "quote unquote" insiders that have said that it's
I mean,
that Nintendo area is going
yeah,
to be there.
If they open a theme park that has a Nintendo area in it, I'm going to be there. Like,
Yeah.
the amount of hype you have for Disney, I have for Nintendo. So I will be there 100%. That sounds amazing.
No, that sounds awesome. I think it's going to be more like Marvel stuff.
Well,
I don't think they
Universal
have
doesn't
rights to-
own Marvel.
Yeah, they don't have
Yeah,
rights to
that's
Marvel.
Disney.
They literally have to pay
Oh.
Disney for Marvel Land at Islands of Adventure, which is real weird in my opinion. But also, there's like weird copyright stuff where now Disney can't have Marvel stuff at Disney parks because of their contract with
Oh,
Universal.
like an exclusivity
yeah,
with.
Because like Disneyland has a Marvel Land coming, but we can't do that in Orlando.
Oh, okay.
Like the only reason they're allowed to have Guardians of the Galaxy is because it's newer Marvel stuff that is not under the old contract.
Yep. And
It's real weird stuff.
It's funny. Universal got in on the Marvel hype train before it was a
They
thing.
did.
They were doing it, and people were like, "What is this weird stuff?"
They missed
and then
it.
it became super popular, and they're like,
No, but the Hulk
Yeah, we
is
got
an
the Hulk.
awesome roller
Their
coaster.
Marvel
Yeah.
Land sucks so bad. It's like all cardboard cutouts and like stuff like that.
It's like old
Spider-Man's
school
a good
comics.
ride,
It's not the
and
Marvel comic
Hulk
universe.
is a good ride.
The Hulk's a good ride.
It's one of the best roller coasters.
I thought Spider-Man was extremely overhyped, and people still think it's amazing. I've never thought that was a great ride.
I think it's
It's
good.
pretty fun, but I mean, it's not anything. The Hulk is the one for me.
The Hulk is an amazing roller coaster.
That's a really good ride.
It's by far the best roller coaster I've ever been
And I
on.
like the Doom one where it just
Yeah,
shoots
it's
you
okay.
up into the air.
Yeah, those they're all right. But yeah, that's
But it's really high and you can see everything.
Real
and
quick,
it's cool.
I found some of the rides that they're leaking that were going to be there in the Nintendo area. Give me 1 second.
This is not in America.
No, they're saying it's going to come to this new park. So they're talking about a Mario Kart ride,
ooh,
Sounds amazing.
that could be good.
Donkey Kong Minecart Madness roller coaster,
Also, could be good.
and Yoshi's Adventure.
Dude, if they did the Donkey Kong, like the little carts that you ride in Donkey Kong, that would be cool.
be awesome.
Yeah, it would be.
Especially if it jumps rails.
I don't know. I like Universal. I really do. I think that what they've done with the Harry Potter stuff is awesome. I mean, those areas are extremely well thought out. The attention to detail, I think, is what has always made Disney a little bit above, but Universal knocked it out of the park in the Harry Potter areas.
Oh yeah,
But then they
absolutely.
went and made like Fast and Furious, which I heard is one of the worst rides that any park's ever made.
Really.
Yeah, I've heard it's awful.
It's like you're in a car and there's screens, like
Oh.
just screens.
It's real bad.
That's a weird choice. I was expecting more like Spider-Man style, where you're at like
And I've
halfway
heard
roller
King
coaster.
Kong's pretty rough too. Okay, so
King Kong's not great.
Universal has gotten in a rut of you have to. There's like 3 things for every Universal ride: is screens, and you have to get sprayed with water at one point or other. And it's just like there's 2 or 3 things that make up a Universal ride formula, and they're all the same.
I don't know, but Disney
Lately.
like Test Track, that's pretty lame.
It's old too.
No, Test Track is awesome. I love that ride. Every time I go
It's
on it,
just-
I'm like, this is fun.
That's from like the early '90s, dude.
Yeah, it is pretty.
I'm talking
intense
about
for
the
that
stuff that's
era.
been coming out lately with Universal.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I'm not a big fan of screen stuff. In anyway, I mean, there's some
Maybe
things
that's
that
why you
Disney's
don't like
made.
Spider-Man.
There's some things that Disney's made that I'm not like the new solo ride or whatever, the Millennium Falcon ride, it's a screen-based ride. It looks cool, but it also is just a screen.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I
kind of a
love
letdown.
practical effects.
Yeah.
And that's what Disney used to do a long time ago, and that's what Universal has done, here and there. But it's much cheaper to do the digital stuff than it is to do practical stuff anymore.
So, did you hear about the lady from, I think it was Chicago, that got drunk and started attacking the Tower of Terror
yes, I
attendant?
did.
Basically, they wouldn't let them in with their fast passes because they weren't valid for whatever they were trying to get on. And they told them, hey, you can't come in on those. Those aren't valid for this. And so the lady starts just trying to push the buttons on the ride operation
Yes.
thing.
And the
yeah.
employee
The
said she could have done something to the
Right.
ride. Like that would have affected the ride.
Right. So the attendant
Or, like,
basically
hurt
pushed her
somebody.
hand away and said, you can't touch this. And the lady started punching her.
Yeah.
So like security came in and escorted them out and they got arrested and everything. But it's just like, what are you doing?
And this
That's
is one of those
insane.
Florida lady stories or Florida man type stories, but this is a freaking lady from Jersey. Like,
Yeah.
she's not from here.
So I'm assuming that lady from Chicago that was messing with the Tower of Terror operator was probably drunk, probably on beer. And speaking of beer, there's a new beer in town made by the Los Angeles Zoo. And
Monkey
what do you
beer.
mean? Oh, a zoo's making beer. U.S. Zoo debuts Sloth Brew,
Sloth and Brew.
a beer brewed by a sloth. So,
We talked about sloths last week, and they're pretty gross.
Yeah, I don't want any of that
so
beer.
the Los Angeles Zoo has this thing where every year they have one of their animals help them brew a beer. And what they do is they put a bunch of different things in front of the animal, and the 2 or 3 things that they pick are the ingredients and flavor profiles that they use to brew their beer.
Okay. So it's not like they put yeast on a sloth's back and
No,
I don't think anybody wants that.
they do. There is beer made from beard yeast. I don't know if you've heard about this.
yeah, we did a discussion about it.
But Charlie, a sloth at the LA Zoo, picked out ingredients for the zoo's upcoming brew at the LA Zoo event. It's like 40 different local breweries have craft brews there. It's this big craft beer thing at the zoo every year. Last year it was Ranger the Bear, but this year Charlie was the home brewing helper, and he was given a selection of ingredients. He swiftly chose pear and roses, and so from there, one of the local breweries went and made a beer that had pear and roses as kind of like the key flavors to it.
Doesn't sound bad.
That's
Made
an
a
interesting
craft beer. They say it's a the resulting brew, Sloth Brew, is a play on the German beer called Brew, which is translates to Lion's Brew, and it's a crisp, refreshing German-style Kolsch. So
Sounds good.
Yeah, I'd try that.
Sloth and Brew.
I thought it was hilarious that they use a sloth to pick ingredients and then make a beer from it, but
Probably took a while.
Yep. They had to wait.
took like 45 minutes.
I discovered a really cool website this week that had an article that I think Kirk is going to appreciate. In early 1986, the Disney executives decided to change the title of their upcoming animated feature from Basil. I think it would be Basil, right? Because
I think I saw this article.
Basil of Baker Street to the less ambiguous The Great Mouse Detective. The animators were definitely not a fan of this, so they drafted a fake letter that was from the CEO of like one of the departments.
Making very literal names.
Yes. So he put out this entire memo that they were renaming all of their classic films so that it was more descriptive. So we have films like Seven Little Men Help a Girl, The Wooden Boy Who Became Real, Color and Music, The Wonderful Elephant Who Could Really Fly, The Little Deer Who Grew Up, The Girl with the See-Through Shoes, The Girl in the Imaginary World, The Amazing Flying Children, and there's more of them, but they literally sent this as like a memo from the top down, and apparently it was like a very close-lipped, like nobody would say who sent the memo because the executives got very upset by it. But it was just funny to see that. But then I looked at this website, and their whole thing is exactly what the name of it is. They have pictures of really interesting letters. So it'll be like, I saw on their top list, they had one that was like a former slave wrote a letter to his master. They had one from the animator of Ren and Stimpy writing to a fan and like kind of giving him a little tutorial on how to draw, how to animate. It's a really cool website. You guys should definitely check it out because you can just see it's a cool way to preserve something that's kind of dead now. there's not a whole lot of actual physical letter writing now. Everything's just going to be text-based, but there's a lot of images of really interesting letters that you can check out on this site. It's really cool.
What's the name of the site?
Letters of Note.
That does sound interesting.
Letters of Note.
All right. So this week I don't even remember where I heard it. I think it was on the radio, but they were talking about rainbows, and they just said one thing that like really stood out to me, and that is that every rainbow that you have ever seen, nobody else has seen.
Yep, I did hear this before.
Because
Blows my mind.
yeah, it's really crazy because your perception of the rainbow can only be seen from where you are. That every rainbow, like from a different perspective, is a different rainbow. And so every rainbow is unique to where you are and when you're looking at it. And it just kind of like,
It's a small thing, but it is
a small
very
thing.
fascinating.
And I don't know if there's not a lot to talk about it, but I also saw this footage of
Saw a rainbow today on
a
the way here.
rainbow. It was like a helicopter, and that they were looking at a rainbow, and they like zoomed out, and it was a full circle rainbow, and it just kind of tripped me out, and it was like, that's crazy because it's a full circle.
I saw a double rainbow on the way here.
Dang it,
Did you
beat
really?
mine.
Yeah,
Why do you gotta
Kim and
one up me, Josh?
Did
No,
you
I'm
take a
just-
picture?
I'm just kidding.
Picture doesn't exist.
I didn't take a picture.
I took a
though.
picture. Booyah! I win. I got
Yeah.
photo proof.
No, we had a double rainbow. It was insane. So
But yeah, I don't know. I just thought that was kind of crazy to think that like, and you can kind of like extrapolate that to everything else. Is like you have your perspective on everything, and it's not always the same from everybody
It's
else.
kind of like a life lesson.
yeah.
You can get really deep there. Today I learned that the United States government was in full support of the movie Independence Day, offering real military uniforms and even jets. Even, like, that's awesome. Until the filmmakers refused to remove Area 51 from the movie. And then the government retracted all of their support for the movie.
They were
Isn't
like,
that
too bad
really
we already
interesting?
filmed it.
I don't think that's what happened.
How'd they get that footage then with the alien against the glass?
So you think it was really shot?
Oh,
in
that
Area
was a
51?
documentary. Yep.
That was an interesting scene.
That
that was a good
scares
movie.
me now, dude.
That was a good movie.
I haven't seen that movie in
Maybe
probably
not
20
good,
years.
but it was good for the time.
It was a
No,
movie.
it's really good.
I remembered it being good.
Top
Yeah,
I mean,
10.
haven't seen
no,
it
I
in a long
liked
time
it.
either.
Yeah, it was good.
Will Smith is a goat, greatest actor of all time.
No, that was his prime though.
You spelled goat wrong.
Nah, I got it, man. Don't question it.
Gout.
Gout.
Greatest actor.
So, Southwest Airlines, the America's most beloved airline, because they just do fun things. They do great things for their passengers. They have great customer service. So, I saw an article this week of something fun they did this week. One of the flight attendants climbed up into the carry-on space. You know, the overhead baggage space.
Mm-hmm.
She climbed up in there, and when people were getting on the flight, she'd just be like, "Hi, how are you? Welcome to Southwest." It was just greeting people like no big deal, and just messing with people. And she did that until like half the flight was full, and then she got down so people could actually put their bags up there. But it's just one of those things. It's about like Southwest branding. It's just little small things that are goofy, don't harm anyone. And if you're getting on an airplane and you see one of the flight attendants in like the overhead bins, I would crack up. That would make my day. I'd be like texting my friends, be like, "Hey, I just got on a flight and the flight attendant was in the overhead bin." That's
Southwest
insane.
loves that until their OSHA fine
Yeah,
that they
yeah,
get.
No, but that's the thing with Southwest is they typically will protect their people for doing things like that because it's part of their brand. They like to have fun.
No, I get
They
what
like
you're
to
saying.
do
I
things
think
that are
that's
great.
funny.
And it's really cool that they have built such a culture of doing things that are fun and letting people's personality come out, and just it enhances just the experience of flying on Southwest. So I love to hear people and companies that are able to do things like that, and it not just be, to your point, oh, this is an OSHA violation. Oh, she's going to damage the overhead bin, or oh, she's going to do this. And they support her and they encourage people to do that. She probably got like a gift card or something, like saying like, "Hey, thank you for doing this," because that's viral marketing for them.
Yeah.
I have seen some goofiness. Like one of the flights I was on recently, the pilot came out after the plane was landed, and he just like jumped in one of the rows, and he was very loudly playing "Staying Alive" on his phone as everybody was leaving the plane.
It's weird.
That's amazing.
It's like, were you concerned we were going to die, man? Like, what?
That's so
What are you
good.
trying
Wait,
to
he
say
jumped into the like into the row of people?
Yeah, he came back into
like,
the
body
plane and got what? No,
What?
people were
You
leaving.
visualize that way
and then he
different
like
than
got
we
in the
did.
rows. You know how they like get in there and like get out of the way while people are going down the middle.
Oh, I visually saw him jumping.
He did not crowd surf down the plane. He just kind of walked down.
the center of the aisle.
You
That
used the
would've
word
been
jump.
That would have been so epic.
More than a feeling.
Nope, staying alive.
That's not the song.
No, but
There you go.
that's great.
Yeah, it was funny.
Did
Everybody
you
was
crack
laughing.
up? Yeah, I was gonna say,
and he just
that's-
like had this look on his
Was
face.
that Southwest too?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
He was just
Southwest
smirking.
has this awesome brand of doing fun, goofy stuff like that, and just like don't take it seriously.
You never know what's going to happen on a Southwest flight.
It's great. I love flying Southwest as much as it's difficult when you have to sit in that middle seat and some of the other nuances of Southwest. But
Gotta check in early.
I still love flying Southwest. So, and that's the thing. They get customer loyalty from doing little things like that cost them nothing. It just builds a brand and a culture. It's awesome. I really, really like what they're doing.
Well, the last discovery this week is the band of the week. This band is called Bronco. They're from Heartland, Tulsa, Oklahoma, and they've been putting out rock music for a long time, since 2010. Their fourth album, Bad Behavior, came out last year, and the song is called Sandman. Make sure to check them out on bronco.tv. They have all their tour dates and interesting stuff you can check out. And as always, if you have any discoveries, shoot them to us on Twitter or on our Facebook group or however else you want to get involved. Let us know. And thanks for listening.
Bye, guys.
Oh man, oh Mr. Sandman, I wanna end there or nothing at all. I sleep on empty, can't beat me. I wanna end there or nothing at all. Oh man, oh I don't know man, making me keep this or nothing at all. I sleep on empty, can't beat me. I wanna end there or nothing at all.
This was a podcast from the Podfix Network. You can
Check out more shows like it at oddfixnetwork.com.